All right, let's jump into this deep dive on the future of work stuff.
Future of work.
Yeah, especially all the tech that's transforming how we work remotely. Looks like you took some pretty in-depth notes.
I did. It's a pretty fascinating topic, I have to admit. There's just so much going on.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got AI-powered assistants, talk of offices in the metaverse.
Metaverse offices, yeah. It's
It
wild.
really is. So, ready to unpack all of this.
Definitely. Let's dive in.
Okay, perfect. Now, let's see. One thing that really jumped out from your notes is the whole world of video conferencing tools.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like everyone's using them these days. Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, they've become essential, haven't they?
Totally. But it's not just basic video calls anymore. I was reading about how these platforms are going way beyond that.
Oh, absolutely. They're getting seriously sophisticated, especially with all the AI they're
But
incorporating.
like, in what ways? What's AI bringing to the table?
We'll take Zoom, for instance. It's not just about noise suppression anymore. They're using AI to analyze engagement during meetings, provide real-time transcripts,
Oh.
even suggest action items based on the conversation.
So it's like having a virtual assistant right there in the meeting with you.
Pretty much. They're getting really good at anticipating our needs and making meetings way more productive and efficient.
That's impressive.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of virtual assistants, I noticed you have a whole section on project management platforms.
Yeah, Asana, Trello, ClickUp. These are becoming like the central nervous system for remote teams.
Interesting. How so?
Well, they help break down these big, complex projects into manageable tasks.
Right.
They make it easy to assign responsibilities, track progress, and most importantly, they keep everyone on the same page no matter where they are.
Which is crucial when you're not all in the same office.
Exactly. It fosters this sense of transparency and accountability that's super important in a remote setting.
Makes total sense. And no more endless email chains.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
You also mentioned communication hubs like Slack and Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
Are those completely replacing email for remote teams?
I wouldn't say replacing entirely, but they definitely offer a much more
Immediate.
immediate, yeah, and dynamic way to communicate, for quick questions, file sharing, those real-time discussions that just make remote collaboration feel more
More
connected.
organic, like you're actually there together.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about collaboration, but another big theme in your notes is remote access and security. And you've got a whole section here about virtual
Yeah,
desktops.
VDI, virtual desktops. Seems pretty complex. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Imagine having a super powerful computer,
Okay.
but instead of it being physically on your desk, it's hosted in the cloud.
Oh, okay.
So instead of having all your data and apps stored locally on your device, they're on these powerful servers that you can access securely from anywhere with an internet connection.
So it's like having a supercomputer you can carry around in your pocket.
Exactly. It's all about flexibility and scalability for remote workforces.
Yeah.
You can have people working from a basic laptop who have access to the same powerful computing resources as someone in the office with a high-end workstation.
That's pretty amazing. But all of this remote access has to come with some serious security concerns, right?
Absolutely. Security is paramount. And you're right, your notes really emphasize that. VPNs, endpoint protection, two-factor authentication, data access control.
It seems like a lot to juggle.
It is, but think of it like layers of protection,
Right.
VPNs encrypt your internet connection so no one can snoop on your data while you're working remotely.
Makes sense.
Endpoint protection safeguards each individual device, like your laptop or phone.
Got it.
Two-factor authentication adds that extra layer of identity verification.
Right.
Even if someone gets your password, they can't access your accounts without that second form of authentication. And then you have services like Okta, which control who has access to specific applications and data within an organization.
So it's like building a digital fortress around your work.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered collaboration tools, secure access, but it's not all just about the tech, right?
Right. Your notes also highlight the human element of remote work, things like time management and well-being.
Yeah, and these aspects are becoming more and more intertwined. I mean, you've got time tracking software like Toggle and Clockify, which are great for managing workloads, boosting accountability.
Right.
But it's not just about tracking time. It's about understanding how we use that time effectively. And that's where tools like Rescue Time and Focus at Will come in.
I've heard of those. They help minimize
Right.
distractions, like all those tempting notifications.
Yeah, all those distractions that can really derail your focus.
Totally. So these tools help block those out and keep you on track.
Exactly. They're like having a personal productivity coach built right into your computer.
I love that. A productivity coach.
But it goes beyond just individual productivity, right? I mean, companies are starting to realize that they need to actively support employee well-being in remote settings.
Absolutely, especially mental health.
Yeah, and that's why we're seeing such a rise in the popularity of apps like Calm and Headspace.
For mindfulness and meditation, yeah.
Exactly. And then there are tools and platforms specifically designed for virtual team building
Oh, interesting.
to encourage those informal social interactions that you might normally have in an office. Like, have you heard of Donut?
I don't think so.
It's pretty cool. It randomly pairs colleagues for virtual coffee breaks just to chat and connect.
Oh, that's really nice. So it's really using technology to build a sense of community, even when you're remote.
Exactly. It's all about creating that sense of belonging.
Yeah, that's really important. Okay, so we've talked about fully remote work, but there's also this big trend towards hybrid models.
Absolutely. The best of both worlds.
Hmm.
Seems like it. And this is where things get even more interesting from a tech perspective. I noticed you mentioned hot desking solutions.
Yeah, hot desking is becoming really popular, especially for companies that have embraced flexible work arrangements.
So how do those work exactly?
Well, with hot desking, no one has an assigned desk in the office. Instead, you use apps like Envoy or Robin to reserve a workspace when you need it.
Ah, I see. So it's all about making the office more dynamic and adaptable to people's changing needs.
Precisely. And it's not just about desks. We're seeing this rise of really cool smart office technology.
Smart office technology, like what?
So think IoT devices, sensors
Okay.
that control things like lighting and temperature, track occupancy in real time. So you can easily find an available workspace. Some systems can even automatically book meeting rooms based on your schedule.
Wow, it's like having a high-tech concierge for the office.
Exactly. And it just makes everything so much more efficient. Pretty futuristic. But what about the really far out future of remote work? I mean, your notes go into AI, AR, VR, even the metaverse.
The possibilities are mind-boggling. It's really exciting.
It is. But where do we even begin with all of that?
Well, let's start with AI. I mean, we're already seeing it being used to automate all sorts of tasks, personalize workflows, provide data-driven insights that can help us work smarter.
Give me an example.
Sure. Imagine an AI assistant that analyzes your work pattern
Okay.
and then suggests the optimal time for focused work or meetings based on when you're most productive.
That'd be incredible. No more afternoon slumps.
Exactly. AI can help us work smarter, not harder. And then you have AR and VR, augmented and virtual reality.
They seem like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But they have the potential to revolutionize remote collaboration and training.
In what ways?
Imagine attending a virtual meeting where you can interact with 3D product prototypes, or you can participate in immersive training simulations that feel totally real. And with AR, you could have information overlaid onto your physical world, giving you real-time guidance and support for complex tasks.
It sounds amazing, but also a little overwhelming.
It is a lot to take in. And then, of course, there's the metaverse, which is this whole other level of mind-blowing.
Yeah, the metaverse. It's still pretty early days, right?
It is, but some people believe it could fundamentally change how we work.
How so?
Imagine putting on a VR headset and stepping into a fully immersive virtual office.
Okay.
You could interact with colleagues from all over the world as avatars, attend meetings in these incredibly realistic virtual conference rooms, collaborate on projects in shared digital spaces.
It would be like stepping into a video game, but for work.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's definitely a wild concept.
It is. With all of this going on, all this rapid advancement, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it all. Makes you wonder, what does the ideal work environment of the future even look like?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's something we all need to be thinking about. I mean, technology is blurring the lines between our physical and digital workspaces, and it's changing everything.
It really is. Any thoughts on what that ideal might look like?
Well, to me, the ideal work environment of the future is going to be highly personalized and incredibly flexible. It will empower individuals to work when, where, and how they're most productive.
I
But at the
love that.
same time, it's got to foster a sense of community and connection because at the end of the day, we're social creatures.
That's so important. So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it to create a truly human-centered work
Exactly. An
experience.
experience that prioritizes well-being, collaboration, individual empowerment.
Maybe even a little fun along the
Definitely.
way. This has been an amazing conversation. Thanks for diving into all
It's
of
been
this
a
with me.
pleasure. I'm really fascinated by all of this, and it's been great to chat about it with you. It's clear that the future of work is changing rapidly, and we're really just at the beginning of this incredible journey. Who knows what amazing innovations are just around the corner?
Exactly. I can't wait to see what the future holds. And thanks to everyone listening for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore more fascinating
Until next time.
topics. See you then.